Patrons, thanks for joining me as we take a look at your weekend forecast. Things are changing, finally, pattern-wise. I know it hasn't felt like that this week. We've still been kind of dreary last couple of days. Not a lot of sun. Well, we've had intermittent sun, but we're about to have a major pattern flip. Not everybody is going to be overly excited about it. We're not moving towards what I would call amazing weather. We are moving towards much, much, much warmer weather. It's going to feel real hot, too, because it is going to be on the heels of what's been kind of below average temperatures for a while, because we're about to go way above average for the start of next week. But the weekend in between, probably the best weekend we've seen in quite some time. Things are looking pretty good. We've got some rocky weather to get to between now and then, though. And so this is kind of, we don't usually talk too much about Thursday weather on the weekend forecast, but here's your satellite imagery. You can see still a lot of clouds dominating the northeastern or the eastern half of the country. Big ridge out west, and we're going to flip-flop that with a trough out west and a ridge in the east pretty soon here. But in between that, we've got, here's a pretty strong upper-level system here. We're going to show you radar in a little bit. Couple of lines of thunderstorms. It looks like we are going to get an organized line of thunderstorms that will come through tomorrow. This system's actually moving pretty good finally now. And you can kind of see that in the satellite imagery. You can see it's moving. And as that moves to our north, it's going to drag a front through, and we're going to be plenty humid. The humidity is already kind of here today. We'll get a little bit more sun tomorrow, which will give us a chance to get a little heating of the day. And tomorrow's probably the best chance, the strongest signal for severe weather we've had across southern Vermont in the last year or so, really. We haven't had a lot of severe weather recently, and we definitely have the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow. Doesn't mean we'll get them. Depends on where the line lines up, but definitely the risk for them is relatively high. Not the highest risk I've seen over the years. These would be pretty quick hitters. This would be a wind threat. This is the kind of thing that's going to knock trees down, potentially take power out. Won't be forever, if you be prepared to lose power for 12, 24 hours if you live in kind of an outlying place. Lots of us won't lose power. But just kind of be aware that is the potential. I'm not really worried about rainfall or anything like that with this, even though everything's obviously been wet. We actually haven't gotten a ton of rain recently since too much rain here recently. Basically, these thunderstorms are going to be moving quick enough that they won't, and we're not going to see training kind of thunderstorms. So you could pick up a quick inch of rain. You can get rain over the road, things like that, but not the kind of thing that's going to cause huge problems or anything like that. Here is, and we'll take a closer look in on radar here in a second, but here's your radar. You can see here's kind of where the actual front is. There's kind of a line out ahead of it. We could see a pop-up shower thunderstorm this afternoon and this evening as well. We have gotten a little bit of sun, which kind of primes the pump for a chance for that to happen. We could see a shower thunderstorm pretty much anytime throughout the day tomorrow, but the strongest thunderstorms probably come through in the afternoon. Timing is probably anytime after 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, is when you're most likely to see those storms. Anytime through early evening. It kind of depends on exactly where the line sets up. So that's kind of the risk. As we take a look, I do want to kind of show you as we zoom in here. You can see here we've got this is the less organized stuff. Some of these could hold together and give us some overnight or morning showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. And as you can see, we've had a few things bubble up here across southern Vermont. That's still a possibility throughout the afternoon, but for the most part, we're dry for the rest of this afternoon and this evening. It's really overnight that we get the chance for the showers and thunderstorms. And then an organized line tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow afternoon, after a little bit of sun in the morning. So, and then we're pretty dry. A front will move through, basically the warm front will move through Saturday night into Sunday. That's dividing the relatively warm seasonal air. For Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday are going to be really nice. And then the humidity really starts to move in here on Sunday. And when it comes, maybe a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on Saturday overnight. That's mostly overnight, though, or late in the evening. I'm not too worried about it interrupting plans too much. You should be prepped for it, but nothing too crazy. And mostly dry for the most part, other than that this weekend. Before we turn to the real heat that's coming in next week. So here is the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center. We are solidly, the entire state of Vermont, solidly in the slight risk. Basically for thunderstorms, we basically never get above the one category above this, which would be called the moderate risk. That I can ever remember across at least across southern Vermont. I'm sure they're probably, if you go way back in the history, they have put, basically this is a 5-tiered system, so a 5-tiered warning level. So the light green basically just means there's a chance of thunderstorms. The darker green means there's a marginal risk for severe weather. That means pretty unlikely, but possible. Yellow means Yellow is usually like a signal to us across the Northeast that, yep, there's probably going to be a line of storms. A few of them are going to be severe. We should pay attention to it. The next color would be orange, and that's the moderate level. And then that would be something that we get once in a great while. And then the high, which is like a dark purple. I don't ever remember seeing high across the Northeast. Again, probably has happened, but I don't remember it. We have had, this is basically the same color scheme they use for flooding. So like, yeah, so I have seen high flooding, flash flood risk. We're not there currently, but that's about the only high risk I've seen before. So in terms of pattern flip, I just want to kind of give you the upper level. This paints a good picture, right? So right now we're in kind of zonal flow. We've been kind of just to our north. There's a pretty significant trough over eastern Canada. It's been kind of moving or the clouds in our area. Here's the upper level support for that kind of wide ranging system across the northeast, and we're kind of in the boundary layer, right? There's a little bit of a ridge across to our south and a little bit of a trough to our north, and that's why we've had all these clouds, the drizzle. We're kind of just stuck in it. But you notice by Sunday afternoon, that has flipped, right? What's been a big ridge across the west becomes a trough, and it drives a big ridge across the east, and it allows surface air to flow in here from our southwest. And the ridge will actually set up even more over the top of us by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. This is how we get our hottest air, our highest temperatures, basically across the northeast. We're not going to see our highest temperatures, but we are definitely going to be, I think, most of us, Monday and Tuesday will be in the 90s. We don't get 90 too often in southern Vermont. The higher elevations probably upper 80s, but yeah, that's going to be accompanied with dew points in the upper 60s to around 70. It's going to feel like upper 90s to around 100 degrees. It's going to be uncomfortable. And if you're going down in the valleys, it'll definitely be uncomfortable. If you're headed down across southern New England, lots of chances to be in the upper 90s, close to 100 degrees with dew points pushing feels like temperatures well over 105. There's going to be a lot of heat advisories, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be great. Of course, why? Why can't we, when the pattern switches, why can't we get into a good pattern? But, what are we going to do? All right, so here we go. Here is the dew points. Basically, we're actually a little humid today. You feel it if you go out there. Basically, the line, the green line here is 50s. And then when we get into the 60s, we turn into like this kind of more purpley color. And then the real purple, deeper purple, that's in the 70s. 70s is oppressive. We don't get those too often, although we will see some of those next week. 60s, you start to feel the humidity. Upper 60s, you really start to feel it. Low 70s, it's bad. Mid 70s, we never really get below the low 70s here across the Northeast, but some places do, and it just starts to feel, it just gets worse and worse. So as you can see, as that ridge builds, it's pushing air in from the southwest, which is, of course, why we are going to see all of that humidity and heat next week. So let's take a quick look at the actual forecast. Friday is nice. Get out there, enjoy the weather on Friday. Mid 70s, the humidity that we've got now will get pushed away by the thunderstorms tomorrow. So tomorrow's kind of humid, but not on Friday. Friday's a beautiful day, great day to get outside, enjoy. Mid 70s, pretty much perfect weather. Overnight, we clear out. Mid 50s, really good night. Saturday, it's those evening storms. I think if you're before 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening, I think you're pretty much safe rain-wise on Saturday. We should see a decent amount of sun during the day. The storms aren't real strong on Saturday, but could have some heavier downpours, though, as the warm front kind of moves through. A little hard to tell. Some of the models want to kind of give us a decent amount of rain with it, but most of it would happen overnight. By Saturday, kind of keep the clouds for the evening. By 2 o'clock in the morning or so, we're probably done with that. Sunday, 85. It's going to feel like summer, humid, and we're building just towards warmer weather. So overnight, we do clear out. Temperatures only drop back into the 60s. Enjoy that 68 on Sunday night because that'll be the coolest temperature we get to until probably Wednesday, Thursday next week. We're going to struggle to get in below the mid 70s Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Yeah, it's going to get kind of gross. But yeah, so just different kind of issues to deal with. But yeah, that's what's going on. Let's take a look at the quick details here. Major pattern shift is coming. We've been kind of waiting on it for quite some time. Mostly dry this weekend with some showers. Saturday, mostly overnight or late evening overnight. Starting Sunday, much warmer and humid air moves into the region. Tomorrow brings the best chance for severe weather we've had in about a year, and we will see oppressive hot conditions for the first half of next week. So if you're outdoors next week, you want to be near the water, which is still quite cold, so you're going to just want to kind of be ready for that. And if you haven't put your air conditioning in yet and you have air conditioning, especially in like for sleeping and things like that, I would suggest doing that this weekend because by Sunday evening, you're probably going to want it. Okay, so that's what's going on. Thanks for supporting the channel. I am going to give this forecast out to others as well with the severe weather threat. So I want to give a quick shout out. This is normally a forecast I do just for my patrons, but I'm going to send this out over the regular airwaves as well. So I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, or if you haven't subscribed before in the past, you should do so. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also certainly I do have a Patreon page. You can check that out where there's some extra stuff for people who support me through Patreon. All right, thank you, and I'll be back with an updated look at the forecast on Friday.